Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy DonDon Gaming back at another video. Today's video we're going over the official courtside report of the gameplay of 2K23 and the enhancements of it. We're going to go over as much as we can in its entirety, but this is probably going to be quite a long one, so y'all might want to grab some popcorn. Green sure y'all got some time to watch this because this might be a long one with all the stuff they got to show us. So let's get into it. So starting off, NBA2K23 gameplay has a brand new of improvements to compete any skill set, flex on the rim, finesse your way to the rack, and experience more authentic animations. 2K23 is nearly here and features gameplay enhancements, the evolution, the competitions. In fact, main pillar for us this year can be summed up with one word: authentic, which is very interesting because it'd be interesting to see how like oh my gosh, guys, I cannot speak. The authenticity of it will work, especially with this year, because they never, tried that. So the team worked hard to create much better as possible on courtside gameplay between current gen and next gen. Below, we have details of all the new stuff, updates, and whatnot. So offensive gameplay, all my offensive heads out there, this is for y'all. Defense was a point of emphasis in last year's game, but 2K23 is so jam-packed with new features and upgrade on the offensive end of the floor, and it's perfect. And it's a perfect starting point. 2K23 was a banner of year perimeter defense, small guards, and had SKUs of advantages over their taller counterparts in outside shooting, range supreme in online matches. Thinking about how we could bring more authentic into our game, we looked in how virtual games are played, whatnot in real life NBA, and it clearly we need to give more love to slashers who love to finish at the rim. That's going to be fun because we're probably going to see a whole bunch of badges with that finishing. This means expanding the tools for attacking the basket. So definitely very interesting. They use the word authentic again. So interesting. And it looks like they're definitely looking at the offensive side of stuff this year compared to last year, which was defense. Even though the defense was still kind of broken, but it had a little bit of improvements compared to 2K20. So or 2K21. So there's that. So upgraded Pro Stick. The most obvious upgrade in this edition, new generation combos to the Pro Stick. Internally, we prefer to the new mechanics as double throws. Interesting. Flicking the pro stick in a direction, letting it go back to the center, and then quickly moving the pro stick back in the same direction. And as well as that switchbacks, which means flicking the pro stick in a direction, letting it center, and then quickly moving the pro stick to the opposite direction. These new Genji... I'm just going to skip that word because I cannot say it for the life of me. Introduce a lot of new weapons for both shooting and ball handling. So that's gonna be interesting. So it looks like they're upgrading the pro stick a lot more. So it doesn't seem like it's gonna be the kind of the aiming stuff that we saw in 2K21, but it also doesn't seem like it's gonna be just a straight up flick down as like timing. So it looks like we have two different options. So it'll be interesting to see how that works on the actual floor and how that works, especially as we move more and more into the year when people start getting better and better animation and better defense and better different things. So flex on the rim for dunking, the meter skill dunk from 2K20, the ability to force difficult dunks in traffic with a time shot meter returns. That's awful. That's awful. I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all don't know if y'all my opinion, but I hate the dunk meter because literally you can throw a dunk to somebody, time it, but yet you still miss. It's dumb. And plus, you can get the enjoyment of just having to see the dunk go through because you have the whole entire meter taking up your whole entire player. So it's like it just gets in your way. So it's dumb. It's dumb. But whatever. But the new commands allows you to expand the dunking controls to let you dunk exactly how you want without accidentally firing off a skill dunk you weren't expecting. When driving to the basket with the sprint trigger held, the new pro stick control map for dunks is as well follows. Up two-handed, right strong hand, left weak hand, down rim hang, up, flashy two-hand, down, up, flashy one hand, up, down, normal skill dunk meter, and down, rim hang. So it looks like there's a lot more different options when trying to do that. But my question for that would be, how exactly would that work for like people that just have Showtime dunks? Like, would that just mean like does that that just sounds interesting? Like it seems like okay, if you're doing like a basic one, like a basic dunk, fine. But like if people come with like dunk packages already, how would that work? You know what I'm saying? That just sounds like it's gonna be very complicated, especially having to do that. Like I'm in the middle of a game. Oh, let me go to the rim and hit up, down, left, right. You know what I'm saying? That just sounds kind of complicated, but who knows? Until you notice with the new map, you now have control over rim hangs for the next generation. We've taken the control to an all-new level with physics-based simulation rim hangs. This is an incredible, entertaining, and wonderful complex piece of tech that's been in development for a couple of years now. It's also to control when and how you hang on the rim after a dunk. The controls are simple. Use one of the new rim hang dunks generators mentioned all above when driving towards the hoop, but keep the sprint trigger held when the player gets their hands on the rim. You'll hang indefinitely, and as long as you keep the trigger held, and you can use the left stick adjustment to momentum your swinging body and right stick function to yourself in the rim. Very interesting. As opposed to canned animations, it looks and feels amazing. It's one of the most fun things to do in the city. So it looks like they're referring to more so city stuff than they do of MyTeam. So if that's just for my career or like play now, fine. But if it's for MyTeam, that's gonna be very interesting. But it looks like we have a video here. Just mute this. So I guess that's an example of a rim hang. But who's gonna really use that? Why did "see you again" pop up? Finesse your way to the rack. For slashers, we want to finish with a little more finesse. Double throw, generous, and used for hop step layups while switching back. You can use this for Euro steps and candle layups, which feels very natural. Simple hold left, right, and perform a new dunk. Set up quickly scoop layups. They are great, especially for small guards who want to quickly flip up the ball on defenders. So it looks like something like this kind of animation. So, okay. So looking at it, looking at it that way, sure. I can understand that. I definitely seems like that's probably going to be a lot more of a bailed out animation, especially if you're trying to run to the rim. You just kind of get you know what I'm saying? But the question about that, would the backboard blocks be blocked with that? You know what I'm saying? Since you're going to be like, now it's in slow-mo, but like if you were doing that full speed, could you still get a block on that? You know what I'm saying? And if so, would that still be goaltending? Or, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of depends on how that'll work. Plus, as well as that, if you do get the animation, if you guys can see kind of here, if you guys can kind of see, he like pushes off. So would that be considered like an offensive foul, or would they consider that a defensive foul, or would it just not be a foul at all and just take it? That's kind of my worrisome for that. But for the bigger, stronger players, you will also experience a lot of new contact layups, content that properly show what should happen when players like Giannis Antetokounmpo plow through everyone in their path. We saw that in the gameplay trailer. If y'all did not see that, y'all can go look it up. Just kind of seeing how Giannis kind of just pushed, PJ Tucker out of the way. So that's kind of what they're referring to. In addition, we've added several new layup packages for both next gen and current gen, including Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, AI, Magic, Jokic, Zach LaVine, Ja Morant, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, and more. For post players, double throws can be used for post drop steps and hop steps. So maybe it looks like post up is going to be a lot more, moved this year. Switchback will give you shimmy shots and hooks. There are a bunch of new signature post up and hook shots. So like I said, it looks like they're going to promotize a lot of people going to the rim. At least in that combo, it looks like there's a lot more ways you can get to the rim that just don't involve you just hitting a regular layup or getting a regular dunk. It's a lot more skill. It looks like they added in, which I'm not a big fan of, just because not everyone's going to be able to catch one like that. You know what I'm saying? But combo measurement skills. So dribbling in 2K2 in NBA 2K has taken a life of its own, become its own sort of game within the game. Ball handlers are going to enjoy comboing up in 2K23. All new gestures combos give you even more opportunities for the real. Arsenal switchback gestures will now perform dedicated signature double crosses and hesitations cross combo moves that can assign as a part of moving crossover signature packages, which has grown from 15 options to 28. So it looks like you have a lot more ways of getting around your defender and dribbling. Learning the speed of your stick throws and timing your signature animations is especially important now. You can change your player's normal signature size up with Rock and Pro Sticks. That sounds like something that we already had this year. Just, doing different combos, kind of something that we've already had, I think. We'll give you an aforementioned new combos, and flicking the pro stick back and forth repeatedly will give you a whole different set of animations called signature combos that look incredible. Another major dribbling change is attacking size up. Interesting. One of the things we wanted to improve with dribbling in 2K was that while the size up moves look cool, they weren't very useful. So the new attacking size up provided a look more side to side movement and much better, and forcing your defender to drop and shift, allowing you to bait them one way then attack the other. So basically just catching a lot more people. Literally, they're going to catch a lot more people off guard. That's kind of what this kind of sounds like. It's just catching people off guard and whatnot. Let's have a quick video here showing. So Curry doing his size up, his regular in between the legs. So didn't really see much there. He's playing defense. Like the size up combo, sure, but like it's just him playing regular. It looks like on ball defense though has improved. If you guys can see, has like jaw kind of steps up a little bit right there. Jaw kind of steps up a little bit, so that's kind of looks like that's helpful, but that didn't really show too much. Adrenal line boost, another new feature to prevent over dribbling in the concept of Arnold dribbling boost. There are 3 available boosts per player per possession, shown as 3 small bars under the stamina meter. Okay, so it looks like you can't dribble the whole entire time. So let's see. So you dribble. So you lose stamina, obviously. Okay, I don't get how. That doesn't make any sense to me. How that. So they have 3 bars, but what does the bars do? Because they don't go down. If you guys can see, like he's out of stamina, but he's still able to dribble like it's perfectly fine, and nothing happens to the bars. So what exactly the bar supposed to do? That's kind of my question. So that's very interesting. So the boosts are consumed every time you perform a hard go or explosive sprint. So okay, so until you see a sprint, you're not gonna notice a difference. Okay, so you can still stand there and dribble. Once you use 3 boosts are gone, you'll notice that your speed and acceleration decreases significantly for the remainder of the possession. So it happens every single possession it resets. So okay. As with dribble combos, it's important to play smart basketball and be efficiently when you move rather than zigzagging back and forth aimlessly trying to get around your defense. So it looks like it's going to be a lot more in skill in that. So that's a plus. That's really a plus in my opinion. Now my question for that would be having to, if you're dribbling, so let's just say back and forth possession. So that means if you play your player the entire game, will they always have that? Or like if you play them for like more than like a half, will it just stay at two bars only until you like rest them, or if you don't rest them, will like the bar increasingly go from like 3 to 2 to 1 if you play them like the whole entire game? That's kind of my question that I would have to have on that. But very nice. More authentic shooting. Shooting also gets some nice upgrades in 2K23. The sets from outside was heavily weighted towards coverage. When you could get an open look, you could balance out poor ratings and inaccurate timings. This year we wanted to make more authentic shooting models and capture aimlessly. The first major change in the addition of shooting attributes since the interception of signature jump shots in 2K basketball. Animations have been more or less authentic but functional the same. This year each signature jump shot has its unique shooting stats, and that help you determine its effectiveness. So shot speed, how quickly the shot gets off, is the ideal release point. Release height, so how high your shot release. Defensively, immunity, how effective the shots is against defensive contests. Timing impact, adjust shot window to reward good timing at the cost of an increased potential or bad timing. Interesting. So this is shot. So it looks like that's the regular shot. So okay, so let's see. So not too bad. So it looks like a regular base jump shot, but it is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, they're just gonna keep replaying the same thing. Okay. Whoa. So as you guys can see, so the shot speed looks like this shot speed is on regular like normal timing, I'm guessing. But with that, it looks like here, it looks like they kind of added that feature in for a lot of people. Personally, this is one of my favorite jump shots, is when it's under their feet. And I think that's going to be very interesting to see that work now. So that's definitely very interesting. But the release speed, don't really see much. The release height, since it's James Harden, it's kind of hard to tell. But it looks like they definitely changed the meter from it going just straight up. So, okay, so I didn't notice that now, but now I do. So you have one that goes straight up. You one that kind of just goes up as you go up, okay? And then you have so you can see there kind of how the speed kind of went up, and then you have the straight up, and then obviously the last one you have the one that's under your feet. So very nice additions. So the jump shot meter definitely looks pretty nice. Definitely looks like it would be very interesting to see how that will work. So for my players, shot animations will get gathered by shot ratings. You'll have to play around with all the options to figure out what works best for you and play style. Looking forward to seeing. Okay, so yeah, so that's pretty much the same. There are also 5 new shot meters to choose from. So we already kind of saw a couple with 15 more that can be unlocked through the seasons over the coming years. So it looks like seasons are back for all around all bases of 2K. But it looks like we're going to get more jump shot, which is going to be very interesting to see how that works. Like, are we going to get like the 2K20, 2K19, we're going to get different years or improved jump shots? I don't know. Oh, wait, hold up. Some big and small, some above the head, some to the side, and some below the shooter. So it looks like you're going to get a lot more different animations. Which jump shot? Now, that sounds like something for more my career, city. But how would that work for my team based of kind of things? Is like, would we be able to just choose it like in the menus for people in my team, or is each player going to have a different way of going up? That's kind of my kind of question for that. Each meter completely fills to the end, which is your ideal release point. That emphasizes on the late side of 2K17 to 2K20. The shot meter options were combined asked from the community. Obviously. You'll also notice that a subtle change to how shot feedback works this year. We use the shot arcs to help indicate whether you early arc, high arc, late flat arc, or on time ideal arc. By paying attention to, you can easily tell the right if your release is off. Also, the shot feedback enables we're delaying the timing coverage overlay with the green release animations from coming up until the ball hits the basket. It's a small change, but it really brings back some of the dramatic that the green lights sometimes lack, and also encourages everyone to continue to play through the possession rather than giving up and getting back in transition early. So that's very interesting. So it looks like the shot meter definitely has changed. So it looks like this whole entire thing is based off of offense. So a lot of different things that you definitely gotta kind of sit here and kind of process. Facilitating the offense. For playmakers out there, you'll find some new tools and disposals as well. The lead back pass makes it return to next generation that it works the same way as current gen, allowing you to simply press and hold triangle to get a receiver to cut to the basket and release the button to throw pass. Okay. Another alternative in this new spot up pass mechanic, if you press and hold B circle, obviously, the receiver you're pointing at with the left stick will perform a quick V or a flare cut to get open at the perimeter. So it looks like kind of like what they did back in 2K20, where you can kind of hold and different buttons to kind of make your players like cut to the basket or pop. Looks like that's gonna come back. It's a very useful, quick hitting play to get an open look when you don't have the time to run a full blown play for your teammates. So for most people that play MyTeam, that'll probably be a lot more helpful in like clutch time, to where you can easily just since you have 14 seconds to get up the court or 14 seconds in the possession. You can have 10 seconds to call someone to cut to the basket, and you can get an easy dunk, most of the time probably. So I think that's probably definitely a decent addition to add back. My player can also equip a signature pass style to mimic some of the best floor generals of all time, including Steph Curry, Magic, Jason Williams, LeBron James, and more. That could be fun. Whether you deploy to drive the lane, back defenders down the post, or spot out from behind the arc, 2K23 offers a wide variety of tools and corridors to offensive gameplay. That's very solid to say. That's so far. All this sounds very cool for the offense. My concern is just how does it actually work? Because everybody's going to play differently, so it depends on how well the jump shot meter, how the speed, the height, and the arc kind of compare to that, and as well as that the dribble things. Like, I'm not much of a dribble head, but some of the dribble heads out there might like the 3-bar or they might hate the 3-bar. So curious to how that would work. But not all this is going to be kind of very interesting. Now we're going to move on to the defensive animations. So starting off here, shot defense received a nice overhaul of 2K23 up from last year's game, where you simply calculate the looks in 2 precipitation points, the location of the defender when the shot started and approximately to the ball at the release. It worked well, but also had shortcomings if the defense had hand or arm moved slightly into a bad position. So it looks like they kind of calculated, as they say, the defensive play and how everyone would move on the defensive end. This year, we've created a system that equates the defensive player consistently hand throughout a window of the shooting motions. The large, simple set point provides way more accuracy results and helps to line up the coverage of numbers. On-ball defense. For the floor game, on-ball defense movement and body ups receive a major refresh with new content that more accurately despite today's one-on-one interactions. You'll also notice that new indicators of the ball handler when the guarding position. This is a new defensive shading mechanic. The 3 bars on the indicator represents the 3 zones: straight up, shade left, shade right. The zone of the defense is shown in the red. If the ball handler attempts to attack a red lane, they'll get cut off, lose their dribble, and fumble the ball. So now here's my question for that: is that how would you know that? Does that mean the offensive and the defense would know that, or just the defense if you're on defense? You know what I'm saying? That's very interesting to how that would work. Because basically it's kind of like what they did, I think, in 2K20, where it's it had a yellow arrow showing where your opponent was going to go. So I'm just curious at how that would work. Great defenders can anticipate where the ball handler is attacking and will now be more clearly rewarded for it. This shading system works for both on-ball defenders guarding the perimeter and as well as that post, and does a good job communicating to both offense and defense while collisions resolve the way they do. So it looks like it does for both. Okay, interesting. Shot blocking has been refined quite a bit this year. Blah, 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 blah. That's talking about last year. For NBA2K, blocks have been turned to a more realistic level, landing to much more predictable outcomes with the right player making approach, stopping, and when timing their block attempts as well. No more small guards pulling off LeBron James level chase down blocks like last year. We all know that's going to be capped in my team. Just saying. You'll also notice a distant improvement in ball handling security for good dunkers. In the past, it's always been risky timing, trying to pull off tomahawk and back stretchers with defenders remotely nearby. We've made some changes to encourage good dunkers to use a great representative of dunk packages. Feel rewarded on the high real dunks with significance. Takeover boost in the right situations without fear of always getting the ball knocked out of your way. Up. The shot blocking system also contains flyby blocks when closing out late on the perimeter shooters. The flyby will also do better in trying to get hand up while preventing defenders from slamming into the shooter. So basically, it looks like they buffed down a little bit of the defensive blocks, chase down blocks, so you can do a lot more showtime dunks without having to be worried about blocking. But like I said, it depends on how that actually works because like for most people, I don't know how many people y'all play my team, but like for instance, like Kawhi, Jordan, Giannis, they have specific defensive animations, so it depends. So I'm curious to know how that would kind of refer to that of having to like, oh, you won't get blocked, but what if some people have defensive animations that kind of make that a little bit more different, that kind of make it a little bit more challenge, a lot more harder to get past them and get that block stuff. So it'd be interesting to see how that works. Ball stripping is all new improvement this year, a ton of new content and better coverages. So if you're a small defender, quick hands can be just efficiently in slowing down slashes and bigs in the paint as good as well shot blockers. We also added a false strip contact layup to make sure defenders steal inputs and restrict instead of getting ignored. That's a good feature. That's a entirely good feature. When the ball does get knocked out loose ball by a block or a steal, you'll get generally improved sideline awareness during scramble ball plays. Pick up near the out of the bouncing line and are much more reliable in our dribbling ball saves that throw the ball back in place. So that's actually a very good W because then it's just like you get the bump steal, but one of your players are already right there. They can easily just throw it back into you, and you can, say instead of having to go back. I've seen some amazing 50-50 babe saves that would make Dennis Rodman and Alex Caruso so proud. So they put Alex Caruso in there, so that's kind of funny. But obviously we all know Dennis Rodman, him grabbing rebounds and stuff like that. So badges, builds, and takeoffs. This paragraph is just refine the player build, polish, and balance. So it looks like they improved the My Player Builder. You still have complete control of your build type and what you want, but the new build system ensures that all builds, regardless of size or especially, have a fun balance. So that could be very interesting to see how that would work. The 5v5 environment used last year to test work in progress builds is also accomplished by a 3v3 environment for next generation players, especially used in love to hoop in the city courts and want to make sure the player hangs in the streets. Another huge addition to the build system is that the animation purchases will now be account bound rather than specific to one saved file. In other words, if you purchase an animation for your boot player shot build, it will then be available to equip on your slasher build, assuming the player meets all the animation requirements. For current gen users, you're no longer limited to by the pie chart build system. Thank you. From the last couple of years, it's been replaced with the more reversed player build that uses next gen users. Okay, so that's a complete W for all my current gen users out there. I'm personally on next generation consoles, but for my current gen players, y'all finally get to have at least some taste of the next gen features of not having that garbage pie chart now. So that's a W for all you guys out there that play on current gen. That's definitely a huge W. But as well as that, for people that are on next gen, the build shots, it'll be available to equip. So that means if you have a saved file of like, yes, so you get a Curry base or something like that on your point guard, you can put down your slasher. But as long as they meet the requirements, so that means if they meet the requirements, you have that already unlocked instead of having to go out and waste more money to get that animation again. Next generation badge system, the most impactful change when it comes to player builds is in form of the next generation. So obviously we notice that players often gravitate towards the same badges, and as a result of that, become a little bit more overpowered by stacking certain badges together. This year, we're removing the tier badge system. There are 16 badges per attribute category, 8 in one tier, 4 in tier 2, and 4 in tier 3. Tier 1 badges are the least powerful for your player, but also cost the least amount of badge points. Cost go up as you climb the tiers and acquire the more impactful badges. The base idea is that you'll need to acquire a certain number of badges in the lower tiers before you can acquire the higher tier badges. Interesting. The motive behind the changes was to encourage players to make more tough choices when creating their badge recipes, making loadouts more valuable as a feature and bringing better overall balance to the badge game general. Along with the tiers, we're also introducing core badges, which are for equip badges slots, one in each attribute category that will be filled with badges that don't count towards the badge point system. Each badge point system will have a challenge requirement that once met will allow the badge to be placed into that core badge slot, which also made several changes to the badges themselves. Interesting. So looks like you get to have a bonus for each category once you meet a challenging requirement. Don't know how that will be unlocked, but it's a possibility that could be unlocked some easy way, hopefully. So let's say they added 4 new badges in finishing. Slithery makes it easier for you to gather through traffic, avoiding collisions and strips. So that's definitely good. People so on. So for like slashers, that's helpful for you getting that, like getting that James Harden steal, or getting like, you know, if you're in like 3 people in the lane, you can easily get through that, which would be very nice. Mastery, increased ability to finish inside layups and over defenders. So that's going to be very nice, especially getting like them contact dunks or like dunking over someone's head, like, you know, someone like a Jaw or Vince Carter, you know what I'm saying, just dunking over people's heads. That would be probably a very nice badge to have. Oriole Wizard, ability to successfully complete alley-oops and putbacks. Why do we have a build for someone to have to successfully complete an alley-oop? Like, why do we need this badge? This badge is pointless. Like, because who... It's just pointless, y'all. It's pointless. If y'all want me to make a video on all the new badges and then get rid of badges and the badges that you're getting rid of this year, I will gladly make that, but that's just no. Bully, like Giannis and LeBron, able to finish strong by bulldozing through traffic. That's going to be an overpowered badge, especially in my team, because if they have it, they are going to literally get to the rack at will, especially once we get bigger size centers. It's going to be crazy. Removal badges, hook specialists. We only got hook specialists. Like, that's good, but at the same time, it's just like, it just doesn't make much sense to me why they would do that, but it is what it is. So shooting, looks like they had a lot of shooting badges here. It looks like Agent 3, ability to hit difficult shot 3-point shots off the dribble. So it looks like, you know, is that space gonna be kind of like, I guess, the chef badge, ability to hit difficult shots off 3-point shots off the dribble. Midi Magic or Magician, improve the ability to knock down mid-range jumpers off the bounce or off the post like MJ. So it looks like that's going to be kind of like basically a mid-range badge. So if you can't really shoot, so let's say if you have a big man in my career and you can't shoot threes, but you can at least shoot open mid-ranges, that's probably a badge I'll probably tell you guys to get. Amped reduces the shooting attribute penalties when fractured and when moving, especially prior to shooting. So it sounds like it's kind of similar to a Chef. So basically they split up Chef and Agent 3 and Amped, I'm guessing. Claymore increases a shot spot up shooter's ability to knock down, catch, and shoot jumpers the longer they remain stationary prior to the shot. So basically the same thing as like something like corner specialist or set shooter. That's basically what that means. Comeback Kid improves the ability to shoot perimeter jumpers when trailing in the game. So that's basically like Lucky 7 that they had. So, you know, that's basically what it is. Hand down, man down makes an outside shooter even deadlier if opponent fails to get a hand in his face. So I'm guessing just improves the jump shot if you're wide open. Simple. Space Creator, formerly a playmaking badge, but now it's boosted in the ability to hit step back jumpers and hop shots, and also will cause defenders to stumble more often. So that looks like you can catch a lot more bodies, you know, with that Space Creator. So that could be very interesting. Limitless range and old fanfare returns, making shooters more effectively with any shots from deep three. So basically that. The removal badges is Chef, Hot Zone Hunter, Lucky 7, Mismatch Expert. It moved, okay, so Mismatch Expert is still here, but it's moved to playmaking, Set Shooter, Sniper, and Limitless Spot Up. So basically all the badges that basically they took out, they added in the same way. They just changed the name and it changed light differences, but nothing matters. The only thing that really matters that's a big difference is Hot Zone Hunter. I think that's like a really badge I think they should not take out just because it helps when you have a hot zone there. But everything else though, pretty much they're already in there. Sniper, I guess, will help a lot more people trying to green, but yeah, that could be very interesting. Playmaking badges, Killer Combos improves and it dribbles effectiveness with size up dribble moves. Basically a combination of last year's Quick Chain and Tight Handles badge. So basically what they said, both of those are basically combined into Killer Combos. So it saves you a badge category. Instead of having to split up in two like this year, you can split up into just one. So that's helpful. Clamp Breaker helps ball handlers win more one-on-one body bumps, comforts the counters of clamps. So basically it counters clamps. So that's a good thing and a bad thing, because if someone has Hall of Fame clamps and someone has Hall of Fame Breaker, which one would have more of an advantage? That's kind of a problem I'll have there. Vice Grip improves the ball security and immediately after securing a rebound, catch, or picking up the ball. Thank you, 2K. This badge was so needed because I have so many times, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but literally all year you would grab a rebound, you would literally, your player would turn around and their opponents there, they would just get the bump steal. You don't even have to move. They just get the bump steal right there. Just right there. Like, you literally take one dribble, it's out of your hand. Like, That is going to be so helpful on so many players, in my opinion. In mismatch editors formula shooting badge, this badge now helps smaller guards break down taller defenders when matched 1-on-1. So that probably could be a lot. That could be probably a very helpful badge, in my opinion. But I still think they should probably keep it on shooting as well, just because it'll help you shoot over big people, especially if you're using like a smaller guard. It would help with that. But they took out Bullet Passer, which I think is probably a needed badge. Downhill. Here's the thing: if y'all took out downhill, y'all better have improved the speed, because otherwise, I don't be running down the court and my guy be slowing down once we get to the dunk. Like, that better not happen. They took out glue hands, thank you, stop and go. It wasn't much of a difference there, but yeah. So those are the kind of badges that kind of got out. Defensive and rebounding. Anchor. A curl badge for last line of defense bigs improves the ability to block and contest shots in the paint. So it looks like it's basically just like a rim protector, or not, yeah, rim protector, chase down blocks. So that's basically what that kind of is. Box out beast helps rebounders win box out battles on both offensive and defensive rebound situations. So having that improve on the offensive end will definitely be very helpful. So that definitely is pretty nice. Workhorse, the Pat Bev badge that boosts your ability to hustle 50-50 balls and play hard-nosed defense without getting tired. So that basically just sounds like it's kind of like the hustler badge of this year. So it kind of depends on, will this badge be better, or will it still be fine using hustler? That's kind of the question that I would have on there. Glove, named after the legendary Gary Payton, obviously, helps you to strip ballers as they gather for shots and poke the ball free from ball handlers. This is the badge I suggest all my defensive players to get, because this badge is gonna be overpowered. But Challenger improves the effectiveness of perimeter shot contests. So that will also be very nice for people that, for instance, if you're playing Park and you just play like you're more of a guard, get this badge because it will help on the perimeter of shot contests compared to just being a big. Because if you're a big, you don't have to worry about this because you're not going to guard the perimeter like that. So yeah, and then badges removed defensively was defensive leader. Interesting. Takeover badges, especially ability acquire my player that you can activate after building up your takeover meter, basically like getting hot in real life. While your primary secondary takeovers remain the same, the same takeover has been redesigned. In the last couple of versions of 2K, a player at team takeover, yada yada. Team takeover works as a corporate team system, which the entire team shares a single meter. Each player on the team has an acquired position that they're responsible for filling up by performing well on the court and being good teammates. Once each player gets filled up position with the meter, team takeover automatically fires off for the entire team, which the new designers make a lot more sense and does a better job representing what it means to be hot on a team. So that's very nice and helpful. Don't know how well that's gonna kind of compete in the actual game, especially in like my team. That would definitely be a lot more helpful, but at the same time, a lot could be like, is it gonna be a lot more balanced or is it gonna be a lot more unbalanced? That's kind of the question I would have for that. Obviously, it's AI package goodness of both ends of the floor. For new generation consoles, here are some of the features highlights. So offensive improvements. The first thing we wanted to address is that this year was offensive AI used to dribble and more arsenal to attack. The goal was to make AI more aggressive and setting up its moves and more deliberate with more moves in its use base of different situations. We've enhanced the AI's ability to understand the defensive positioning using new defensive shading system previously talked about, and ball handling will. So basically, it basically means they helped the AI to dribble a lot more than just having to like, if you guys play Park and someone gets like booted out of the game, the AI can actually dribble the ball a little bit and not just be basically like careless with the ball and just playing like they don't know no sense. So now they understand how to set up defenders, read the defender counters, and then attack opening approaches combos based on their movement set. So like I said, that would be very helpful for people that play like Play Now, or maybe you guys play, said your friend gets booted off in the city. Y'all can use that, and I think that will probably be very helpful for those AI players. And now for the AI to attack more efficiently, we knew that we had to mix up timing of the AI dribble attempts. To do this, we engineered the AI to improve the earliest attacking openings, or of what we call the first move attack priority, which is given the opportunity for the AI to quickly after a single move before a move is performed. However, the user remains a great guarding position. The AI will continue to set up. So basically, the AI will sit there as you're setting up. AI will just sit there if you're playing good defense, but otherwise they'll look for an opening and they'll take it. So that could be very interesting, but also could be overpowered depending on what you're playing on. Balls attack more intelligently when we also wanted to make sure they're represented in real life with automatically. So we built a brand new signature AI attacking system, which allows to assign all of the stars a dynamic signature package that contains up to 4 signature combos. So 4 signature single move sets of 2 combos move sets. So basically, regular AI size up, not that much of a difference. Guys, one example is right here. Example, we can combine Kevin Durant's between the leg crossover with a between the leg crossover of step backs with early move priority with these moves set and be scripted. We can also launch attacks. So basically just them explaining how they could move how the AI can potentially move. It just depends on the AI and what dribble sigs you have as your my player. It seems like that's what it seems like. Next major improvement of the AI experience is the pick and roll for. Oh my gosh! If this actually works, this could be such a W. The role man understands how to keep a spacing relationship with the ball handle and can vary their roll pass to the rim based on the ball handle and they're being defended. To complete this, the AI passer has been given much better understanding of open versus covered passing lanes, alley-oop opportunities, and lob passing opportunities over the top of defenders. That is such a good thing because y'all don't know y'all know this year it's so hard to add AI just to cut to the rim and them just being like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go inside the defender instead of having to go around or over. You know what I'm saying? So that could be very interesting. The AI is actually aware of what shots are able to be based on the defensive coverage that you will see in the AI sources on varied reads in the score of pick and roll. On the coaching side of things, dynamic grading plans on giving a flexing of how the AI coaching schemes of offer from one game to the next. AI coaching will track efficiency by looking at the points possession for play attempts, freelancing the pick and roll. So it looks like if you guys do have coaching settings on, it looks like the coach will be a lot more aware of like, okay, if you're in the last if it's the fourth quarter, you have like less than a minute to go, he'll start doing a lot more. It would kind of assign plays for your teammates or for your team during the game and actually kind of like representing what's going on. So that could be very helpful. But now here's the thing: if you turn that off, don't have it turned back on. That's all I gotta say, 2K. If people turn that off, make sure it stays off. Instead of pre-return between a teammate's top scorer to who should be the lion's share of the offense possession, AI coaching prefers pre-game matchup evolutions, adding more weight to the player with the better matchup. It can also dynamically change weight and in the game goes on base efficiency for each scorer on the floor. If LeBron James has the better matchup and is scoring well, the game plan will divide deeper and add more weight to the players he's most successful with. On the flip side, the AI will also adjust in their primary courses to struggle. So if LeBron is having an off night, you'll see the second and third scoring options get more pressure in one. So basically, just like I said, what they said, improving the AI defense, kind of being a lot more intelligent to kind of be like, okay, off night for LeBron, let's guard everybody else. LeBron's shooting well, everyone double team LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the last thing we have here is defensive improvements. Last year we built a remote system. Every phase of our defense game plan has been improved from interior defense where we can identify when the ball handler has been picked up, allowing the anchor to leave the paint and get rid of his man, to making the no three setting. I love how they put that in. No threes. They put that in all claps. No three setting work, and as intended, rotations are smarter and more viable pick and roll defense. So it looks like they definitely improved the defense and actually made it smarter. Most people that had anybody concerned is like, if you hit no threes, no threes. If you say like don't drop from the corners, don't drop from the corners. That's pretty much like most people had, effectively. That was kind of like the biggest defensive feature ever that people mostly complain about. Also, the feature performs based defensive adjustments. In the past, we know how many points and assists the leading scorer had on the offensive end and would make adjustments based on the information, how the adjustments in the AI made to generate, because it wasn't obviously how a given player racked up the scoring and assist totals this year, effectively success in action, engaging on track exactly how scorers and doing their damage. This engine and deeper proposing scoring action, isolation, and whether a player is or getting buckets at the rim. So basically just kind of improving the more defensive side of things of just having to play a lot more smarter defense. If they're driving to the rim, we know we got to, help in. But we know if they can say, if you're going to be Golden State Warriors, most of them are shooters, you're going to guard the perimeter a lot more. That's kind of basically what it sounds like they're saying here. As a user with our adaptive coaching entity turned on, the adjustments will be automatically made for you, but if you choose, you can make your own adjustments using defensive settings. Will these defensive settings work? That's what we need to know. Defensive AI is struggling with sending help until we know the opportunity can be made to take advantage of, particularly openings. So at the beginning of games, you may notice drastically less help as your teammates wait to see if the opponent can actually take advantage of an open lane compared to last year. Of course, you're free to turn off the auto adjustments and make your teammates help right from the jump, and that's the way you want to run your options. And then obviously closing remarks, just kind of summing up really quickly about when it's going to be released, and much stuff is coming later on today. Each one hits shelves, but you can reserve your copy today. So that's kind of basically it. But that's a lot of information, you guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. I know it was a super long video today, but that's all the gameplay enhancements that we've gotten this year. If you guys want to go back and kind of pause the video and kind of play back about kind of read it yourself, by all means, able to do that. But that's basically what gameplay is. None of this really matters until people actually get their hands, until like actual 2K players get their hands in the game, like people that play City, people that play MyTeam like crazy. We won't really know any of these effects of how they actually work, because just reading it doesn't really do much, because it's just like, okay, you guys say this, but how does it actually comprehend to the actual game? How does it comprehend, from the beginning of the game to the end of the game? You know what I'm saying? So all this is kind of up in the air, but this is definitely a good kind of base ground that I kind of enjoy and that I'm kind of interested in to seeing how it actually plays in the game. One thing I really hate that they did is that I hate they brought the dunk stick back, and I'm upset that they don't have a feature to turn it off. That's really my biggest pet peeve with this blog post so far, but I'll go through it and kind of reread it as so often and try to get a little more understanding. But with all that being said, you guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like on it. And if y'all new to the channel, subscribe. We're going to keep you guys up to date with all the MyTeam news that comes out today. This was the first official one, which was a gameplay enhancements. So subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay up to date with stuff like that. And with all that being said, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.